Well, welcome back. Here at the Dr. Gratu Orloff Network, we're now up to 64 subscribers, and now sponsors have come running, wanting to take advantage of this giant audience that Gratu Orloff has accumulated. So, we have two new sponsors today. First, have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran. Have you tried Wheaties? For wheat is the best food of man. They're crispy, they're crunchy the whole week through. Candace Owen never tires them, and neither should you. So just try Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. I think it's a little questionable, their new packaging, but I'm not going to question it, but I think Wheaties is in trouble putting I think they should go back to their old box, personally. And the other product, the Breakfast of Astronauts, Fang. It's you can drink it by the pint. And Type A, breakfast drink for vampires. Yes, they're the new sponsor here on the Gratu Orloff Network. And some bottles actually have a severed human head in the package. So that's quite spectacular. Sorry, petting my cat, Pete. Here's what's going on. I just uncovered several unlabeled boxes buried in the closet. So I pulled them out. These are magazine boxes. So let's see what's in these boxes. From November 1980, a copy of Upbeat. Interviews with the Cars, the B-52s, Split Ends, and more. Let's see. So, this looks like maybe this came out of Oklahoma. No, Dallas. Has Dallas, Oklahoma stuff. So this is a local homegrown magazine that was available at record stores. And so, I don't know. Something I've got here. This must have been a box of music-oriented stuff. Here's a Japanese Kiss magazine. Let's see. Oh, it's got a poster in it. Yeah, it's pretty much all Japanese. Yeah, when Kiss went to Japan, met the geisha girls. So that's fantastic. Well, let's see. Here's a copy of Time. Wonder why this is here. It's from 1940. Right before the war. The ads in these old Time, if you ever go through old Times and Time magazines and Newsweeks, all the ads are for alcohol and cigarettes. Here's a later period National Lampoon when it wasn't really as funny. Oh my God. Why is there a People magazine here with this hideous Sandra Bullock on the cover? I don't know. There must be something in there that's worthwhile. Pam Dauber. Why do I have these things? I have no idea. Oh, Monica Lewinsky cover. Why do I own that? No idea why. Oh, this is kind of cool. This is a copy of from KRLA KRLA radio in Los Angeles. This is their little newsletter that they put out in Los Angeles. Little magazine, newspaper, tabloid. Let's see what else I got in here. Entertainment Weekly with Lindsay Lohan. Fantastic, amazing, incredible. Yeah, just a bunch of garbage in here. Here's this French magazine. I've got a lot of copies of this French magazine called Mad Movies. It's all in French, but it's got some good ad mats in there that I used to use when I was doing the sophisticate stuff like that. Okay, so that's that. And then I've got, this needs to be pulled and put into the Mad Box. See, I've got stuff randomly everywhere. Another copy of Mad Movies Cine Fantastique. And this is apparently an issue about Le Cinema Mexican. So all about the amazing Mexican horror cinema. The thing about the horror movies in Mexico, the movies they made in the 50s and 60s look like American 1930s movies. Just the lighting and the equipment they were using, something about it made them seem much older. Oh, this was a magazine I used to pick up all the time, Oriental Cinema, back in the 90s. Oh, and a men's adventure magazine, True Danger. Learning television, radio, electronics. It's easy, fast, and lots of great artwork. And there's yeah, this was one of those magazines that constantly delivered entertainment. Got to bag and board all this stuff and organize it better. Copy of Action Figure Digest. Let's see what else we have here. Comic Buyer's Guide. Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, so for a long time I had this subscription to Entertainment Weekly. It just kept showing up. I never paid for it. Don't know why it was sent to me. Here's a... Oh, this was given to me by a good friend of mine, Game Informer. And, oh, it's that shitty Fantastic Four movie. I thought it was the one from Roger Corman for a second. Sorry. That was the Nightmare movie. Okay, so there's that box. 1 second. Ah, God! Uno momento. Sorry, I bumped into a lampshade that I'm using to light this. Let's look at the next box. Okay. Does this box have a label? No label on this box, so I don't know what we're getting into here. Might be frightening. Oh, okay. I see what we got here. Not good. This is kind of cool. All about Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. What's this next thing? No, that's not worth looking at. How about a 1976 Radio Shack catalog? You don't see that every day. Or a program from Casa Mañana back in the 1930s here locally in Fort Worth. The Last Frontier. Great artwork. Here's another one. Look at that artwork. Casa Mañana, ladies and gentlemen. And actually I have 2 copies of this. Whenever I'd see it in antique stores, I would pick that up. Here was a magazine that used to come out in the 90s called Ben is Dead. It was a nostalgia magazine. Music magazine. Here's a wholesome magazine called Brutarian. Yeah, this was a pretty interesting magazine. Not many magazines have art like that. Okay, here's a This record came with a Hazel Adkins 45. What else do I have in here? It looks like this is all music kind of stuff. Interview with Esquivel. What else we got? Liberty, when they brought Liberty back as a nostalgia magazine in the 70s. My Friend magazine. I think that's a picture of the Ladybirds. They were a topless 60s band. Okay, this looks like it's mainly music magazines for people into kind of a little bit different music. You know, like stuff that came out from Crypt Records. Let's see. I don't know what that is. It's a copy of Thorazine. Okay. Leading Psychics Predictions for 1973 in Saga magazine. We'll find out what's going to happen in 73. Yeesh. Looks like some copies of Alter Ego, a bunch of Alter Ego, Comicology. You don't need to see these things, they're too common. What else we got? Model and Toy Collector, Kit Builders. Bunch, not anything interesting, too interesting. Sinister Cinema Catalogs, Video Vault. Oh, Gearhead was a pretty cool magazine. If you ever see a copy of that. Oh, here's a magazine from the month I was born. Probably why I bought it. Cycle World, April 65. Okay. That box of magazines didn't yield much entertainment, so let's try another box. Hopefully with a little bit more fun contained. Okay, this one is labeled Marvel Black and White. So these must be Marvel magazines. And I know I've bought a lot of magazines lately that need to be added to this box. And I need to get this all together. Okay, it looks like it's my childhood collection of Planet of the Apes, which definitely, this is bagged and boarded. Okay, you know what Planet of the Apes looks like, so I don't need to go through all of these. It's a complete set. I didn't miss an issue of that because Planet of the Apes was one of the greatest joys of my life in elementary school, along with Wacky Packages and Star Trek and all that. Oh, okay, here's the 60s Spectacular Spider-Man magazine that only lasted 2 issues. And this is the first issue that was black and white, and then they had a second issue that was color. They later reprinted this with many alterations, but yeah, this was one of Marvel's first attempts at doing a black and white comic. There's an ad for Frank Zappa on the inside front cover, and it promises on the back page, next issue, don't dare miss the rebirth. Man, I'm not getting good shots of this. Okay. Maybe that's a little bit better, so I don't have to contort myself to show you this stuff. Well, anyway, the next issue was actually color in. But somehow this did not take off. Perhaps because of the price tag being 40 cents, which was pretty expensive then. When comic books were 12 cents, spending 40 cents probably didn't compute to a lot of kids. Alright, I'm going to pull some out. Okay, there's a copy of Monsters Unlimited, which is one of these print the photos from horror movies and put funny captions. And it's an easy magazine to put together because you really don't have to do anything. It's just full-page photos. I mean, it's a magazine like this you could literally put together in 30, 40 minutes, I would think. And Stan Lee wrote the amazingly funny little jokes. So that's Monsters Unlimited. Why? Okay, Monsters Unleashed. This was a tremendous magazine. Bought this in 1972. Damn. A lot of memories contained within this particular comic magazine. Has Frankenstein, 1973. Yeah, this is not actually, that's not my childhood copy. This one, I believe, is my childhood copy, so it's a little bit worse for wear. So, I bought a new copy at one point. And then, the next issue, also, I remember buying this at the PX. Does it have a little star stamp on it? No, it doesn't. But I know that was bought at the PX, pretty sure. Always like this cover. You know, is he rescuing the girl or is he feeding the girl to the alligator? I always thought he was feeding her to the alligator. More Monsters Unleashed. Memories of San Antonio in the early 70s when I bought these magazines. Man, I've got to combine. This is just my collection as of 20 years ago. This last time I probably opened this box. I know I have a lot of other issues that fill in the gaps that need to be put into this box. Let's see what else we can find in here. Okay, more Dracula Lives. Oh yeah. And Tales from the Zombie. Okay, once I get everything organized and together, this is going to be more spectacular. Okay, then it goes into Savage Sword of Conan, number 2-ish, 2 copies of number 4. Okay, I guess I'll show you. You know, it's a great cover. But I mean, this stuff's so common, I don't know if you really want to watch a video about it. Yeah, lots of Savage Sword of Conan, Doc Savage. This is my childhood copy of Doc Savage. You know, we were moving from San Antonio to Tacoma, Washington that summer, and somehow I never saw that movie in the theater. Didn't see it till it came on television, and I guess it's better that that movie just remained in my imagination for all those years, because I would have been pretty disappointed. I mean, it was kind of fun, but things worked in it, but for the most part it didn't work. Okay, then I've got the black and white Howard the Duck. That's not rare. What else I have? Oh, I remember buying this, The Land That Time Forgot. I remember reading it, but I never went to the theater to see it. Never saw that till it came on television. And that was definitely a disappointment. There's a Punisher. I'm sure this is worth $1 million to somebody now. Maybe not. I don't know what's worth anything at all. Then Marvel preview Sherlock Holmes, Man God. Oh, I remember. I was really wanting to get this, and this was in '77, I think, not long after Star Wars came out. For some reason, I just was really driven to get back to G. Sanders Books to buy that copy of Star-Lord. And now Star-Lord is actually somebody. It wasn't then. Okay, just a bunch of other random epic illustrated Star Wars adaptations. Nothing too amazing. Let's get another box, and then, yeah, let's get another box. And remember, buy Fang. Okay, 1 minute. Ouch. Okay, we may have lucked out. This is actually a good box. Oh, I gotta change the aspect ratio on this cartoon playing in the background. It's stretched out. There's nothing I hate more than that. Where is the remote? The remote control. Nowhere to be found. Oh well. I guess it went to that by default, but I can change it to the proper ratio. Okay. What is this? Oh, okay. You know about these. These were reprints of 50s comics, but they altered them and added in more blood and gore, redrew them a little bit. But they came out from Eerie Publications, and not many stores carried them. Only sleazy little convenience stores and stuff. I mean, you never knew who carried them, but they were carried in way out of the way places. So some kid at school would get a copy, and they'd be a celebrity for a little while for having this incredibly gory comic. But, you know, like, where did they get it? Sometimes they'd keep it a mystery. Like in San Antonio, you know, you had Mr. M and you had 7-Eleven, which were the normal convenience stores you'd go into, but then there'd be like a place called like Lone Star that was a convenience store also, but sometimes they had a little bit weirder stuff, and you could get stuff like this there. And I mean, it's really pretty astonishing. This one I have in Mylar, but it's not boarded. Got to get this stuff preserved properly. I have others, you know, I just got to get this, I got to get this organized, because I've got other copies of this stuff in other boxes, and I get it all together, then I'll have an idea of what my true collection is. Here's a copy of Nightmare, which is from the same company that put out Psycho, Skywald. Speaking of Psycho, the movie Psycho, the Hitchcock movie, today is being released in some box set, uncut for the first time since like 1960, with just a little bit more, just slightly, a few more knife punctures when he goes down the stairs, and a little bit, you don't see anything, but Janet Leigh taking her bra off, little things like that have been restored, so you can see it now as of today the way it was in the theater in 1960. It's little changes that most people would never notice. This copy is not in good shape. It has some water damage. Tremendous back cover, courtesy of Pablo Marcos. So these were done with Spanish artists or Filipino artists, but artists from, this was, these were all, everything you're looking at exists because people were trying to cash in on what James Warren was doing with Creepy, Eerie, and Vampirella. And so there were other companies. These weren't distributed as well. Psycho and its sister magazine advertised on the back, Scream. I remember seeing them. Oh, this is a copy. This was, oh, I remember buying this as a kid. I don't think this is my childhood copy. Could be. But I remember that one. And some of them actually are out in a rack in the other room now that I realize that I made a rack, a display rack of horror magazines. And I know there's a great Psycho cover with a bunch of monster heads on it. I think that's out there in the hallway. Like, look at this ad on the back. How could you resist that? Okay, what else do we have here? And of course, Pablo Marcos has provided us this wonderful drawing on the back. Okay, it looks like we have a 1974 yearbook from Psycho. And that cover there in the middle looks a lot like that Monsters Unleashed cover I showed you earlier. I always thought Frankenstein holding the girl. This is the face of Satan, as seen in this issue. Okay, well, this is a weirdo thing. Eerie Publications put out one called Tales from the Crypt, and they stopped that real quick after this issue because they're actually taking something that was still owned by EC Publications, the title Tales from the Crypt, even though it hadn't been published in 20 years. I'm sure they sent them a cease and desist about that. Okay, so I went from Eerie Publications to Skywald, and now I'm back in Eerie. I need to say it's just not organized properly. I guess I need to alphabetize everything too. Gotta get this done. It's the most exercise I've gotten in months. I should be exercising. I gotta lose a lot of weight. I should be out there like Silver Age Dave running 900 miles every weekend, but been sitting home all COVIDized. But looks like they got Barnabas Collins turning green there. Must have eaten at Taco Bell. That covers a pastiche of a bunch of different paintings from different covers. But you got to get Barnabas Collins in there to boost sales. Ooh, this cover. Ooh, isn't that a good one? It's got some pin marks on the back. Oh, I always love this cover. This ghoulish Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein if she was a vampire. Ooh, look at that cover. Amazing. Amazing and astonishing. Alright, oh, here's another one utilizing that same painting, except showing more of the painting. They had to milk that painting. Alright. Still more fun. I'm going to probably call this quits pretty quick and then start another video because I only have so much memory on my phone. Another copy of the same issue, it looks like. and it'll just stop, and all of a sudden the video won't be saved, and that's no good. This one's beat all to hell, but you gotta love that cover. A little bit of a family quarrel. And this cover looks, looks a little too 80s to me. Oh, my arm. Oh, this is when Atlas came along, you know, that tried to be a new Marvel. You probably know the story behind that. Weird Tales of the Macabre. Macabre. I think that's how you pronounce that word. Never always had trouble pronouncing that word. You don't use it that often. Oh, I got another copy of the same issue. I guess that cover is just hard to resist. Kind of looks like Portland or Kenosha or Seattle. A little bit. Oh, more of Eerie Publications. Maybe I did put this in alphabetical order, because it seems like I'm up to the W's now. Oh, my arm. Let me pull these out, because I can't do that anymore. Okay. Ooh. Spirit World. Horror stories. Oh. Hell Rider. This is in really good shape. And ads on the back for Nightmare and Psycho. Yeah, it's just... I got to get more professional with my camera work so I can maybe go on to my 65th subscriber. And then what else is in this box? A bunch of copies of Weirdo magazine and Stan Lee's attempt to go underground. He hired a bunch of underground cartoonists and put out a comics book there for a little while. And Weirdo was the 1980s Crumb project. So, and then here's a copy of Sky Masters. Okay. So, with that, I'm going to sign off. I'll be back soon.